terror prophecy of the end times. The Lord is going to bring terror upon the earth, to bring people's fears upon them. Their own fears and all the terrors of their own minds will come upon them for the end times. Isaiah chapter 66 verse 4 says, I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that which I delighted not. The prophesying of their terrors will occur for 1260 days. All the fears, all the calamities, all the plagues and the curses, and all those things that will bring fear upon them will come upon them for that time. Revelation chapter 11 verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. The earth will be smitten with plagues and with curses, and hammered and hit with the things that bring terror upon them and fear upon their hearts for that time. Revelation chapter 11 verse 6. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. Their fears of climate change, of famines, with the rains being withheld, and with food shortages, and with animals attacking, and all their great fears that they have had, they will come upon them. Revelation chapter 6, verse 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed him, and power was given them over 1/4 part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beast of the field. Nuclear war and death from the sword will come upon them globally, and their fear of cannibalism, having to eat each other because of the calamity and collapse of society, that fear will come upon them as well. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, and the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. Great fear of earthquakes shaking and rattling the earth, and pandemic plagues and viruses being released. Their greatest fears will come upon them. Matthew chapter 24 verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. Yes, the fear of pandemic viruses being released, and the great fears of tsunamis coming across cities and wiping them out will come upon them. Luke 21 verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the seas and the waves roaring. Yes, the waves roaring, splashing over the coastlines, wiping out cities, and the fear of asteroids coming from outer space, smashing into the earth. Their great fear will come upon them. Revelation chapter 8 verse 8. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and 1/3 part of the sea became blood. Their fear of the economic collapse and the breakdown of society will come upon them. Revelation chapter 18 verse 11, 15, and 17. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off from the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by the sea stood afar off. Yes, fear of oil spills and global contamination from the oil rigs overflowing from the asteroid and from the tidal waves, and the ships being knocked over that spill tankers into the water and create global contamination, and food destruction of the fish in the sea, as all fears will come upon them. Yes, from the tidal waves, from the asteroid, all the ships will be knocked over, and the oil rigs will spill, and oil will fill throughout the oceans of the sea and kill all the sea life. And the great fears of the economic collapse, the great fears of the asteroids, the great fears of all of the die-off in the sea, all the great fears of the oil rig spills will come upon them in the end times. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul in the sea died. Yes, the fear of global war will come upon them. Revelation chapter 9, verse 15 and 16. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. Yes, the fear of nuclear war and missiles will come upon them. Revelation chapter 8, verse 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. Yes, the fear of a great solar flare scorching the earth will come upon them. Revelation chapter 16, verse 8 and 9. And the 4th angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and the power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of God, which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. Yes, their great fear of an alien invasion coming into the earth with aliens and greys and little lizard people. Revelation chapter 12, verse 7 and 9. And there was a war in heaven, and Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. And he was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Yes, hearts failing from all these fears and these torments that come upon them for those 1260 days, as they see the reality of their fears unfolding. Luke 21, verse 26. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Their fear of Christian terrorism will come upon them. Their fear of Christian extremism and Christian ideology that is radical Christianity coming upon them. Revelation chapter 11, verse 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these 2 prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. Yes, they will consider the reality of the prophecy being prophesied as terrorism, the torment of these great fears and these catastrophes that fall upon them for the 1260 days. They will rejoice when they kill the prophets, thinking that it will stop. But then the great fear will come upon them, that the earth will be engulfed in darkness. Darkness so dark that when it touches your skin, it hurts. Revelation chapter 6, verse 12. And I beheld when he opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And after that torment for those 1260 days when they killed the prophets dead for 3 days during that time of darkness. And on the 3rd and a half day, they rise to life, and the torment doesn't end. Their greatest fears fall upon them as they see Christ descending and the prophets resurrecting. Revelation chapter 11, verse 11. Then after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. That which will be spoken in darkness of those days is alluded to by Christ in the fears that will consume them during those 3 days. Luke chapter 12, verse 3 through 5. Wherefore whatsoever you have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ears and closets shall be proclaimed upon housetops. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, but after that have no more than they can do. But I will forewarn you whom you shall fear. Fear him, which after he hath killed hath power to cast into hell. Yeah, I say unto you, fear him. Yes, you will fear Christ, or you will be burned. One of the greatest fears of all, being burned alive in fire, will come upon you as you're thrown alive at the second resurrection into the lake of fire. And the sea gave up the dead that were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. They're cast alive in the lake of fire. And this is who you should fear, is the one who has power to throw you into that lake of fire, which is Christ the Lord. Revelation chapter 14, verse 7. Saying with a loud voice, fear God and give him glory, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of the waters. You were told to fear God and give him glory. This is a command from the Most High. Revelation chapter 19, verse 5. And a voice came out of the throne, saying, praise our God, all ye his servants, and ye that fear him, both small and great. It is the Son of God whom you shall fear. And if you fear him, you have nothing else to fear. But if you do not fear him, he will bring your greatest fears upon you, upon the entire earth, and you will be consumed with your own fears as judgments. And this is the prophecy of the terror prophecy.